And those are the facts for the Democrats today, which in large part are not really Democrats anymore at all, but instead a collection of far-left, alt-left, radical socialists who want to denigrate and smear their neighbors if those neighbors don't think like them and believe things like you can leave the border open, fire all the police officers, and let 5-year-olds pick what gender they want off from a list of, well, dozens. It seems at some point that kind of insanity does finally reveal itself to those that retain the ability to think outside the herd of sheep and establish independent and critical thinking based on what they have learned along the way from their own lives. It seems, just as I have told you, the majority of Americans are not interested in social justice when they can't put gas in their car or food on the table. They're not interested in hearing about illegal aliens getting smartphones, a food court, and a hotel to live in when they have to decide between paying the rent and getting the high blood pressure medicine they need to stay alive. They've had their fill of hearing about how awful their country is, and if they're white or conservative and therefore acting white, that somehow they are to blame for anything and everything that's ever gone wrong in the lives of people they've never met. They don't believe people should be chosen or rejected based on the color of their skin. They are tired of being dragged into classes at work so they can be lectured about being racist just because they're white. They're done with hearing that as parents, they really don't know what they're doing, and the local school board has more sense on how to raise their kids than they do. They are all done with being told it's not fair to put criminals, and often violent criminals, in jail and leave them there, whether they can make bail or not, because they actually think the people who commit the crimes should be the ones who pay the price for those crimes. It's a crazy list, I know, but Americans are tired of this whole anything goes with no consequences attitude. Unless, of course, you're a pro-life dad that wants to protect your kid from an unruly radical activist that declares it's okay to kill a baby up to the moment of birth. That guy can certainly be raided by the FBI and put in jail. Now that makes sense, right? You see, they are also sick and tired of gazillionaires flying around on private jets and sailing out on opulent yachts while wagging their bony, privileged fingers at everyone else for using gasoline to get home and oil to heat their homes. And they're sick and tired of the socialists shipping billions of dollars to other countries for God only knows what. But they do not support tens of billions for a war which they have not seen a plan for or understand why we're there in the first place. They're done with spending and sending American troops into harm's way in countries on the other side of the world when there seems to be nothing in it for us. They do not want a war in Ukraine and certainly don't want a war with Russia of any kind, certainly not a nuclear one. Which brings me back to the exodus from the Democrat Party by millions of people. And yes, I said millions. Because whether or not they have made it official, these people all over this country are going to consummate their divorce from Joe Biden and the socialists in the Democrat Party on November 8th.